and your children are turned into mindless vassals who now they look up to some twit instead of looking up to Thomas Jefferson or looking up to Nikola Tesla or looking up to Magellan. I mean, kids, Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. He circumnavigated with one ship the entire planet. He was killed by wild natives before they got back to Portugal. And when they got back, there was only like 11 people alive of the 200 and something crew, and the entire ship was rotting down to the waterline. That's destiny. That's will. That's striving. That's being a trailblazer, an explorer, going into space, mathematics, quantum mechanics, the secrets of the universe. It's all there. Life is fiery with its beauty. It's incredible detail. Tuning into it. They want to shatter your mind talking about Justin Bieber.
Oh, we're muted. Let's try it again. Hello out there. We're on the air. I was just messing with you there. I started talking and it said your mic is muted. And then I just decided, you know what? I'm just going to talk for a minute and people will just be left guessing what I was saying. I did drop one F-bomb though. I'm sure you could tell by my lips. Anyways, we are on the air. We are on the air. Welcome back. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm Jor. I'm the host here, around these parts. And this is the Reason to Believe show. We got many reasons to believe. Many reasons to be worried, fearful, cautious, scared, spooked. But we're not paying attention to those. We're focusing all our energy on the reasons to believe, the reasons for hope in the future. And a big part of that is Bitcoin. That's where we spend most of our time talking. But we talk about a lot of things here. Too many, some might even say. My assistant would say too many things we talk about. My assistant, my agent, my producer would all say that we talk about too many things on here. We say too much. And that's Jor number 1, Jor number 2, Jor number 3, and Jor number 4. That's who's telling me those things. But we don't care. We don't really care too much. But anyways, this show focuses on a couple different things. We focus on modern day stoicism. That's kind of the mindset or the model we take, modern day stoicism. It's kind of like stoicism, except more joyful, a little more joyful, you know? Seneca, the boys, Epictetus. The boys, they knew what they were doing, but they didn't enjoy themselves as much as they should have. So we kind of take a little bit different spin to it. We take the Stoic approach, but we have a little more joy with it. And we combine that. We mix that with hard money, which I believe we're going back to. I know we're kind of living in crazy world right now. Upside down clown world in a lot of ways. And that's what it is. And the whole system itself is built on nothing. That's why it feels that way. It hasn't been built on anything for over 100 years now, since 1913. Maybe even dating back before that, depending on who you ask and what time of history. But we do like history around here because you need to know history. Because history doesn't always repeat, but it definitely rhymes. And it's sure rhyming right now. So we've had over 100 years of fake, over 100 years of a complete illusion. Ever since the Federal Reserve was created on Jekyll Island, that's where they mastermind this. They said, how can we get to this? How can we get to the point where we can literally print money and the world will do exactly what we say, because we are the ones who control the money. And those sick bastards back then, they sure did a lot of damage to society and humanity. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to get back to the sound money. We're trying to get back to a world where nobody has access to the money printer. Nobody has the ability to create units to control humanity. That's just not how it's supposed to be. It's just not how it's supposed to be. So we're going to fight like hell every single day to try to return to that. I believe we're going there. All signs in my mind point to us returning to a sound money standard. And it's going to be beautiful. It absolutely is. And I actually saw a post this morning. I took a screenshot of it. I didn't share that. I didn't save the post, but I took a screenshot of it. And I'm actually going to type it out here and put it on the screen for a couple of minutes because I think it's worth repeating. I think it's worth spending some time and energy on to let it soak in a little bit today because it's important. It's kind of what the show embodies here. And the quote says, "Don't forget to overthink best case scenario too." So a lot of people, oh, that's not the right one. There it is. Don't forget to overthink the best case scenario too. Because I think at this point, if you've been hanging around here for a while, you know how powerful the mind is, how powerful we are. And we get to decide, where we direct our energy. We only have so much energy every day. My energy right now, if I was a battery, if I was plugged in, it would be fairly low. I didn't get home last night till after midnight, and I didn't get to bed till well after that. But I'm here, and there was never a doubt in my mind that I was going to be here because even though my battery's a little bit low today, I just have a charge to do this. But it's easy to think about the worst. It's easy to look at the world right now as it is and say, we're screwed, we're in trouble. And some people are, a lot of people are, but little do they know they can actually change that quite easily. And that's where we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about today. I titled the show Doing Much More with Way Less. And so we're going to get into a couple different things today talking about that. But that's the thing that people miss right now is that they have the ability themselves to change their direction. Everything that's happened in the past behind them cannot be changed. Not even much point thinking about it or spending too much time. Unfortunately, that's where most people spend the majority of their lives. They think about the past and they're concerned about the future. And so we take a slightly different approach here. We're the only thing we have here is time, and we don't know how much time we have. That's the crazy thing about it. Bitcoin is absolutely scarce. Time is absolutely scarce, but we know how many Bitcoin are out there. We can go to a website and we can see how many Bitcoin are out there. It's known. Time is not. Time is not. The only thing we have is right now, right this second. Nothing else really matters, truly. And so you can prepare, you can plan, but you should spend that time and energy planning for the best, preparing yourself for the best. And if it doesn't work out, then that's a whole different story. But I think that again, everything kind of happens up here, regardless of where you are in the world, regardless of what's going on. Everything happens here, which is nuts, but it's true. And so I would much rather spend my finite time, my finite energy being hopeful about the future. And I know for a fact that you do too. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching the show because there's a lot of other videos with a lot more viewers making a lot more money, pushing fear and trying to get people to be scared and click things to kind of fulfill their own little fantasy in their head. So we're much different around here. We're built different. So it's a pleasure to be here with you all this morning. And I want to start the show with a couple shout outs. So number one, I don't know if I've seen Sats and Sunsets here. Is he? Gotta be. Sats, yeah, he is. Okay. So Sats and Sunsets. Actually, I'm going to get back to that. Pause. Not in the sexual way, the pause, but actual pause button on that. This is kind of a good mug. And I drink out of this mug every Friday here. This is kind of our Friday mug because it's huge. And usually on Fridays, I like a big cup of coffee. But it's kind of symbolic in a way too. It's symbolic because on one side, you got Eeyore. On one side of the cup, you got Eeyore. On the other side of the cup, you got the boys. You got Tigger. You got Winnie the Pooh. And I got to be careful here because this is an expensive laptop and a full coffee. But it's kind of symbolic of life. Oh, Piglet's there. I didn't even see Piglet there. Piglet's there too. But, you know, apparently somebody said this in the chat a couple weeks ago, but they said that Winnie the Pooh was kind of based around all of Christopher Robin's personalities. And everybody has that. Everybody has that. And some people show it a little bit more than others day to day. But the point, I think, is that you get to choose. Nobody's going to choose for you. You get to choose every single day. Are you going to be Eeyore? Or are you going to be Tigger and Pooh and Piglet? So some days we're Eeyore. Some days everybody's Eeyore. I don't think anybody escapes that. But I think that if we can spend the majority of our time being like Tigger and Pooh and Piglet, then, you know, we're going to do all right here. We're going to do all right. So a couple big shout outs here to start the show today. We got number one is Bill. Bill sent a zap to Arnie Boy last night, I think it was. And it was a 6102 attack. A 6102 attack. So I'm going to be changing things slightly around here in the way that we approach the show. Because yesterday I had a bit of a scare. A bit of a realization, you might say. And so I'll talk about that in a sec. That's what kind of relates to Sats and Sunsets here. But big shout out to Bill. Thank you, Bill. So I got to write him down here on the old notepad. Lick the finger, turn the page. Okay, so Bill, we're on the board. Okay, and we had a big one come through the airwaves today. How do I explain this one? This was from Letha the Icon, and it was Letha the Icon 2 hours ago. So 7:30 my time. I don't know what that would have been her time. Probably 8:30, right, Letha? But she sent a big one today. Big. I was going to say biggest of the week, but that was Jenny had a big one earlier this week. But a big one nonetheless. We'll call it 8 shots of espresso. Whatever that means. I don't know what that means, but 8 shots of espresso Letha sent over. So thank you, Letha. God bless. She said, happy Fat Zap Friday. Have a great weekend. Love, Letha. No, she didn't say love, Letha. I added that in there. She said, happy Fat Zap Friday. Have a great weekend, Letha. So shout out to Letha this morning. God bless, Letha. And we also got a couple more here to report. Maria 2000, also known as Maria 2500, also known as Maria 5000, also known as Maria 10,000 once in a while. But Maria sends a shot of espresso. We need more espressos. I actually tried to get the link to the Zap Me a Coffee. That's where that whole thing kind of originated from. And then I got sidetracked. I got scrolled off. But we had another one here from Praetorian, the Guardian himself. He said, Jor, good morning, Jor, and Visionaries family. Hope everyone has a very productive and prosperous Fat Zap Friday. God bless you all. Kind regards, Praetorian. So thank you, Praetorian. Shot of espresso too. We got a lot of espresso flowing today. And Moravian, I think he's over on the Noster. We'll get to that in a second. We'll check on Noster. But he sent in a double shot of espresso. So thank you, Moravian. Man, Moravian's been on fire. He's been up there. He's been on the board. So thank you, Moravian. Cheers, buddy. I really appreciate it. You being here every day and for all the support. And then we got a couple more here. We got Joshua, the King. Josh says, Luxter, got any merch or a fan club set up? I'll sub to it, dude. We should have something for Lucky. You know, I think I'm going to do this actually. I think I'm going to do this. I don't know what exactly it's going to look like yet, but I think I'm just going to have a new, whatever it's on. And I was going to say I want somebody to help me with it, but I won't really need that much help because I'm already doing it. I already do it. I just have to do it a little bit differently. But I want to just get a channel or something for Lucky and Arnie because they are absolutely hilarious together. They're black and white. The way that they interact with each other, the way they fight with each other is absolutely hilarious to watch. And so I just feel like I need to share it with the world. So it's not going to be a big project. It'll just kind of be a once in a while kind of thing. But again, I'm just standing there or sitting there watching them do this. So really all I need to do is just have a camera there. So I think I'm going to do that. I don't know about merch or anything like that. I don't think Lucky's going to be on any merch. I think Arnie would make some good merch. I don't know if Lucky would, though. Lucky's a pretty plain Jane to look at, but he's freaking hilarious, man. So thanks, Josh. Appreciate it, buddy. Okay, let's keep her going here. So what I was going to say there was Sats and Sunsets. I went through yesterday after the show. I went through the video, episode 500, as Sats and Sunsets had been requesting. And it was like 2 hours long. So I couldn't sit. That's what I kind of had in my mind, that I was going to sit there and like watch the show and like write down every time somebody did something. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this. I'm going to throw it into AI. I'm going to take the transcript and I'm going to say, can you let me know when somebody purchased a membership or when somebody sent in some support? I want to know who it was and what they sent. And you guys would not believe how good this was. Good and bad. So good in the sense that it saved me 2 hours. And I got a whole list here. I had Sats and Sunsets with 20 memberships on YouTube and 1 on Rumble. I had Letha with a big donation. It would have been 11 espressos. Jenny with 5 zaps on Rumble. And what would that be? 13 espressos. Scotty boy, I couldn't figure out what Scotty sent because he was sending a bunch of 99s and he was trying to get to something, but I couldn't figure out Scotty. So he's still question mark. But Laugh Pad was there with a big one. Mark, Moravian, Josh, Camille, Praetorian, and Sharon B. So those were the big ones. But as I did that, I was like, oh my God, I need to speak differently here because I don't know. I just felt like I don't even know how to explain it. I almost felt like exposed in a way. You know what I mean? To whoever you want to call, whether it's I'm scared to even like, I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop saying numbers because I think if it hasn't already, it's probably going to come back to bite me in the ass at some point, somehow. So it's either that or just pull all the videos down, which I don't think is a reasonable play. So I'm just going to speak in names. I'm going to have different kind of things. Well, obviously an espresso is, but I'll have some different ones here. I'm going to come up with a couple different names for things just so it kind of takes the numbers out of it. If you know what I mean. I think you know what I mean. But it scared me a little bit there because it did it pretty fast and it was pretty easy and pretty cheap to do. I did it on ppq.ai. But man, it doesn't take much. And AI is just going to get better and better and more intrusive. So I know you guys know what I'm talking about. And so hopefully you can understand that. But yeah. So anyways, we're into it today. We're into it today and we are falling way behind here. Wow, what? Confetti falling from the sky here on Zapstream. What's with the confetti for Friday? Is that our Friday confetti? What was I doing? What was I doing? Somebody tell me. What was I doing? What was I doing? I don't know. Noster. Oh, I got to change the title on Noster. That's what I was doing. If Sin's here, he's like, oh God, Jor's lost again. Jor's lost at sea. Come off it. Come off it. Not today. Not today of all days. What the hell was that? Okay, I've come to the conclusion that it's this well then, that's shitty. We're back to single screen here. Frick. That sucks. That makes my life way more difficult. The screen just died on me again. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I have too many things plugged into this. I don't know. But sometimes just thinks this adapter here just like randomly cuts out. So that has the I'm surprised the internet doesn't though, because it's hooked up to an Ethernet cable within this. But everything else just kind of powers down. So I guess we're not going to update the name on Snoster because I can't see it anymore. But oh, hold on. Are we back? Come on. Nope. Okay. Yeah, I'm at the bottom now. This is true. Frick. Anyways, let's get to some chats here, I guess. Sorry, Noster. I lost you. Now I'm going to have to do the whole show from this screen. This is not ideal. But, we'll make her work. We always do. Always do. Okay. So let's get through some chats here. The cap first in the chat today. We're going to buzz you. Praetorian's here. Good morning, Visionaries. Happy Fat Zap Friday. Good morning, Praetorian. Good to see you. Good morning. Chuck says here for now something's playing in the background. Okay, there we go. Good morning. Here for the start. Hopefully I can stay for the duration. Okay. Good morning, Chuck. Good to see you. Yeah, I don't know how long we're going to be going today. But Micah's in the chat. Good morning, Micah. Why did the police officer arrest the duck? Oh, we got some more duck jokes here. What was the other one? Sats and Sunsets. Duck, cuck, goose. That was a good one. Why did the police officer arrest the duck? He was selling quack. Oh, look at that. Oh my God. What is that? Jake 21 Hats says bam. And it looks like he's got a new hat there, new design in the works. Okay, kind of looks like this one. Kind of reminds me of this one. Okay. I like it. Sexy. Chuck liked that one. Micah says, I just downloaded the Bitcoin inheritance checklist found in school, classroom, weekly hangouts in between Hangout 8 and 9. It's full of incredibly valuable information and includes legal advice for different countries. It even has a summarized checklist for a minimal viable plan to prevent loss of Bitcoin. Fantastic info. Nice. Chuck said, Jor, I sent a coffee to the 88 Sats Rizful wallet. I usually use your personal one. Okay. What is the 88 Sats Rizful wallet? I guess I got to figure out how to access that. I kind of, well, we'll get it. Okay, I see a couple zaps here from Sharon B too, over on Lucky's wallet. So thank you, Sharon B. I didn't see those till now. Lauren's here. Good morning, Lauren. Good morning, Ginger. Ginger's over on both, it looks like. Oh, no, just the tubes today. Maybe he's still sitting. Mark is here, 6'5" sats, the man himself. Oh, look at that. He's got Bob and Stewie in the picture now. Look at that. First we had Bob, then we had Stewie, and now we have Bob and Stewie. Now we just need Mark in the picture. And then we can have all the boys. Rich is here, Sketchucation all the way across the pond in the land of the Guinness. Good morning, Rich. Good to see you, my friend. Camille's over on YouTube trying to be number one. Mofo Rogue says Bitcoin or death, the truth. Susan is here. Good morning, Susan. She says, Mike, I'm trying to find the checklist, but I don't see the weekly hangouts under the classroom. I think Mike is talking about the Bitcoin Citadel School. So Susan, I will reach out to you today. I will reach out a helping hand, and I will help you with that. But if it's a good checklist, I'll probably include it in our digital homestead course, because we're going to be spending some time both at the start of the course and near the end of the course for inheritance, legacy. That's pillar number 8 in the digital homestead course. So either way, Susan, I will direct you on how to get that, or I'll send it to you or something. But if it's worth, I'm thinking it'll be good, but I'll check it out. And if it's worth doing, I'll put it in the, I'll include it as part of the digital homestead course. So part of that course, we're basically going to design a real quick and dirty one right off the hop. And then as the course progresses, as time goes on, we're going to, are we freezing here? No. We're going to set up a more in-depth inheritance plan to make sure that whatever Bitcoin you got, you're going to be able to pass down to whoever you want to. Pretty important part of Bitcoin, you know? Man, what a day. What a day. What a day today. We got some blue skies. We got some espresso. We got Kip Moore playing in the background here. I really don't know how life could be any better than it is right now. I really don't. Even as tired as I am, I'm full of it. I'm full of the energy today. Fiat equals death, no doubt. J-Dog's here. Good morning, J-Dog. Muted. Ha, I tricked you guys. I tricked you all. Look how many people I tricked. Sorry. I didn't mean to mess with you. Yes, I'll Susan, I'll get in touch with you. I'll send you a message on school and give you some insights. Andrew's here. Good morning, Andrew. Relentless Acres. I got to get back to you. I saw that you joined the school though, so I'm sure we'll be chatting soon. Coffee. Okay, let's go. Yeah, I'll help, Susan. No problem. No problem. The modern stoicism of Epictetus. That's right. That's right. Modern day stoicism focused around Epictetus. Yes. The US dollar is a Ponzi. Wish you were part of what? What do you want to be a part of? You can be part of whatever you want to. Sick bastards is an understatement, no doubt. No doubt. Buck 52 is here. Good morning, Buck 52. Says, play fiat games, win fiat prizes. No doubt. You can't make more time. You can't make more Bitcoin. You can't make more time. Joshua says, good morning, Rumble. Like and comment left. I will be on Nostr. Okay, we'll see. Well, we've seen you over there already, I should say. We've seen you over there. Let me check out Nostr here. Let me see what's going on. And let's keep going down the list here. Polly, head voice, says, morning, BTC soldiers. Stack sats. Stays close to nature as you watch the system burn. Great advice. Great advice. Josh says, any South Africans here? I read that the government there is planning or already has in place framework to demand private keys from citizens. Woof. The Tao of Pooh, I've heard about that, actually. I'm going to write that down. I want to read that. The Tao of Pooh. I think it's kind of like, it's a little bit stoicism related, is it not, Saster? Okay, we got some crazy stuff going on in the chat today. The anticipation is killing me. Well, I don't think it was that exciting. Was it? Satster said, was rabbit yesterday, then poo in the evening, poo this morning, but then Eeyore snuck in. We're getting back to poo, though. Attaboy. Attaboy. We're moving in the right direction. Matt FRL's here. Good morning. Buck52 says, be the shark. We got 21 Sat Streets here. Says, happy Friday, visionaries. Good morning, 21 Sat Street. VHF is here. Good morning, VHF. VHF on Rumble. Love to see it. Good to see you, man. Thanks for being here today. Chuck says, Arn got a shot of bone broth. No coffee for him. You know, I got some bone broth. We bought some bone broth a couple years ago. It might be bad now, but wasn't a big hit in this house. So I've kind of been giving it to Arnie once in a while, sprinkling it in. I should probably do it myself, but it doesn't taste very good. But, you know, nothing that's good for you does. Scotty was joking about reaching 599 SAT donations, and we were trying to help him reach it. But I think he sent something after, too, like rounding it up. So that's what I want to know. But we'll see if he shows up today. Yeah, we're talking in codes. Rumble's emojis suck balls. No way. Rumble's way freaking better. Rumble's way better for emojis. You can put, like, GIF emojis in there. Not sure which. I'll be there, Polly. What's this for? Where are you going to be? What did I miss? Oh, meetup. Meetup's coming. There you go. The boys are getting together. Love to see that. There's Ginger right there. Camille, looks like Jake, you got your first customer. Hands off my sats. Where did I didn't see hands off my sats. How did I miss Jenny? I don't know. VHF says, good morning, internet girlfriend. Whoa, okay. Look at that. Jenny says, hi, VHF and Lauren. Okay, it looks like I must have missed something on Rumble. That's my guess. I'll get there. We're almost through the comments here. We're buzzing. You're welcome, Susan. You're welcome. Susan, Sue, Susan, however you want to say it. Rant with some numbers. Okay, thank you, Sats and Sunsets. Jor, MDR8. Jor, what is your opinion on this new concept of buying hash rate from a hash rate marketplace and then sending it to your own datum gateway? Oh, we got a crow fight outside. What is my opinion on it? I don't have an opinion on it. I don't have an opinion on it. Sorry. Morrow says, good morning, Jordan fam. Good morning, Morrow. Good to see you, man. Haven't seen Morrow forever. Morrow, where you been? Smell a big print coming soon with all the Keynesian elites doing nowadays. Better have some Bitcoin when shit hit the fan. Yeah, you better have some Bitcoin. You better have some coffee. You better have some whiskey. You better have some firewood. You better have a stocked freezer. You better have some other things. Bitcoin being one of them, though. Lauren says, nice sats and sunsets. Okay, what happened over on Rumble? Kev Keith, hello, fellow necks of red. Good morning, Kev. Definitely some Stoic themes in Taoism and Stoicism work well together. Cool, I'm going to check that out. Thanks for the reco. The recudation. Okay, we got some stuff happening over here on Rumble. Jenny says, is this the right place to find VHF? It is. It is now. It hasn't always been, but it is now. So thank you, Jenny. Sats and Sunsets says, I had a screenshot memory pop up today of me buying pretty much 1 million sats for $50. Sats and Sunsets. I had a screenshot memory pop up today of me buying 955,000 sats for $50 in 2019. Wasn't that long ago. Pretty sure 2019 was like last year, wasn't it? Time's flying. Time's flying. What's this? Virals of Finn. Get out of here. Boot. Mute user forever. Bye-bye, virals of Finn. You've been outed. You've been ousted. You've been banished. Jenny said, I'm a little jealous of Sats and Sunsets right now. Yeah, me too. I think a lot of people are. But you got to keep in mind, you have to keep this in mind. Because in 2019, what was that, 7 years ago? Man, the crows are going wild out here today. There's like a six-way crow fight happening right now. You never know what's going to happen around here. You never know. But 7 years ago, right? And it went from, what would that be, $50 for a million sats? Today it probably costs 800 for a million sats. So what is that? 50, 800. That's 8x. 8x. So you think like 7 years from now, that's just how Bitcoin works. And it's funny. It's actually funny. It's funny that we're talking about this now, because on my way home last night, oh, what happened here? Just seeing Coin Bureau post. Did you know you can send ETH for under 1 cent? I replied, I'd rather keep the cent. I mean, you could almost send Bitcoin for a what is it, 10 cents? Big whoop. 80x. Okay, yeah, I thought so. 50. Yeah, 50 to 800. No, that's not 80x. I think we're both wrong. That's not 80x either. Let's do it here real quick. I should be able to do this. Maybe it is 80. No, it can't be. Can't be. It'd be 80 if it was $10. So 80 divided by 5. I don't know. My head's cooked right now. What did I say there? 16. Yeah, okay. Yeah, 16 makes more sense. Is that right? Because we got 20 in here. We got 16. We got 80. 80 didn't sound right. But I mean, if you look back 10 years ago, we're 100x up. I'll show you. Yeah, this is definitely a dirt moment, no doubt. I want to do this in my head right now, quick. Okay, so a million sats today cost you $800. Back then, it cost you $50. So what's 800 divided by 50? It's 16. It's 16. It's 16. It's 16. We're not, there's no debates. It's 16. My head math, I trust it. I trust that one. Frick, what was I talking about now? What were we doing? Shit, I had something I wanted to say. Oh, yeah. Well, we got to go here. We got to go here anyway. So let's actually start with the time chain today. We usually start with the mempool, but today we're going to start with the time chain. Hope everybody's okay with that. I can't see it, but we're going to have to. Oh, there we go. Okay. So we are currently in the Epoch 5. Epoch 5. Epoch V. V also stands for V for Vendetta. V also stands for V for Visionaries. V also stands for Vagina. It does. Like there's no debates there. V also stands for Ducks Fly Together. And it also stands for number 5 for Epoch 5, which means we are subsidy of 3.125 for another, how many blocks? 101,530. In 101,530 blocks, we're going to chop this in half. This number is going to be 1.56 per block. And then in another 210,000 blocks after that, it's going to be less than 1 Bitcoin per block. So it's going to be 2032. 2032-ish. No, not ish. It'll be 2032. It might be May, it might be April, it might be March, but it will be in 2032. Oh my God. 2032. How did we get here? How did we get here? But the supply is 20.02 million, which means there's only 0.98 million Bitcoin left to be mined for the next 114 years. 0.98 million or 980,000 Bitcoin for the next 114 years. And we just hit a new block. Who got it? Via BTC1 block 948471. So for those who are somewhat new to Bitcoin, that's the time in Bitcoin, the block height. And that basically represents how many blocks there has been since the Genesis block, January 3rd, 2009. Every block that's mined has a bunch of transactions in it. That's what Bitcoin is. That's the network. That's the capital B Bitcoin. Capital B Bitcoin. People hear Bitcoin, they just kind of think it's a thing. It's one thing, but it's not. There's actually the capital B Bitcoin network, which is the ledger, which is the mining, which is the supply schedule. All of those things kind of combine to be the Bitcoin network. So that's capital B network. And then you have lowercase b Bitcoin. That's the currency that runs on top of that. So one doesn't really work without the other, but there's not just like Bitcoin. There's the network and then there's the currency. The currency runs on top of the network. And so that's what this is. Every block has a bunch of transactions. That's the ledger. Anybody can see any block in history. You can go into it. You can see all the transactions in there. How many Bitcoin were issued, newly generated coins. That happens every block. You can see where it went from, where it went to, how many transaction fees they paid, the time, the hash, all that stuff. It's all fully transparent. Could you imagine? Could you imagine that we have that right in front of our eyes right now and most people are just watching sports, paying attention to the bread and circus, the politics, the clown show? It's like we don't need it anymore. That's what this episode is about today, is we don't need that anymore. Like we don't. I know it's still there. I know a lot of people are still giving all their time and energy to that system, but we don't need it. And you don't have to spend any time in it if you don't want to. You get to choose. You get to choose how you measure the world. And myself personally, I choose to measure it in Bitcoin. So that's what I just mentioned, the newly generated coins. So every block, there's newly generated Bitcoin. And that's from the subsidy, which is the fixed amount, every block, 3.125 Bitcoin, which will cut in half in about 2 years from now. And they get the transaction fees. So in this case, they got less than 1 million sats. Less than a milli. But the total reward there was 3.1347. So that went to via BTC. Whoever mines the block, they get the reward. They get the total block reward there. So with that in mind, let's I gotta find some. Okay, I'll do this one. I like the song. Actually, no, I'm gonna go this one. This is one of the best songs. One of the best songs in the biz. Have a listen to this one today. If you got some time, have a listen to this one today. It's titled Burn by Kip Moore. It starts out like this. World's gone mad, damn near insane. Hold on, I'll read it to you. Upside down, track jump the train, like a tree on fire. Headed for your house while the flames get higher. Price has gone up, value gone down. Million cars going round and round. I think I'll jump this ship. Move to a spot that always digs. Take a slow drive. Backwoods, Kentucky. Sunshine. Find me a muddy trail I can put these old tires spinning around. So it's basically a song. It's a song about the world's crazy, but you can just withdraw yourself from it. Great song. Burn by Kip Moore. Have a listen to it today. It'll put you in a good mood. It'll ease some of the tension in your life. When the world goes left, take a hard right turn. That's what it says. So anyways, that's what we got today. Here's the exchange rate today. There's no price of Bitcoin. Remember that. There's no price of Bitcoin. There's exchange rates. So every country has a different exchange rate. This one's the US dollar. And if you got one of those US dollars today, one of these ferns, Federal Reserve note, you can purchase 1,248 sats. 1,248 sats. And we just hit another new block. So more Bitcoin released into the wild. Luxor. Nice. Way to go, Luxor. But that's the exchange rate today. You got 1 unit of illusion, $1, 1 fiat dollar, 1 unit of trash, 1 unit of the worst money in human history. If you got one of those, you can trade it for 1,248 units of freedom, units of sovereignty, units of scarcity, units of energy, and units of the best money in human history. So pretty good trade. You got 1 unit of the worst money in human history. You can trade for 1,248 units of the best money in human history. And if you think like I do, where you're right now, we're kind of looking at Bitcoin as a township for the new discoverers out there. You're walking around the earth, you're discovering new land. 1 Bitcoin is the equivalent of 1 township. And think about now, when was the last time you heard somebody make an offer on a township? Doesn't happen anymore. And at some point, we're almost there already. It'll just be unachievable for anybody to get to 1 whole coin. So then we don't stop there though, because as more people show up to buy the land, to build on the land, then you have to start splitting into sections because there's just not enough townships for everybody. Well, there might be actually, especially in an area like this, there might be enough for a township, but that's not the point. People buy land and they want to expand. And so they want to have plots of land around their homestead. And that's kind of the equivalent of like a UTXO. That's how I think about UTXOs, or they're just like plots of land in cyberspace. But the cool thing is that they're fungible, which means that if I have 1 UTXO over here and 1 UTXO over here, I bring them together and I start making my own township. So that's the equivalent. That's how I think about sats, is we had to split up townships into sections. And then we split the sections into half sections, quarter sections, acres. And then kind of where we are today is lots. So I see sats like sections. And then we're going to have a split of that, and then another split of that. As more people show up, there's not enough UTXOs, there's not enough Bitcoin, there's not enough sats for everybody, just like land. And so we're going to have to keep further dividing. That's the cool thing about Bitcoin, is it's infinitely divisible. One of its many, many great features about Bitcoin. So that's the time chain. And what I wanted to do here, why I wanted to start with this, because if we look at this number right here, this is just a good reminder. I know we've done this a lot, but I think it's still good to know kind of where we are. So $1 gets you 1,200 sats right now. If we go back to 2016, that same $1, oh wow, that was almost like that was impressive. That was almost a 10-year leap backwards. So we're time traveling right now. We're time traveling back to June 2016, where at that time, the epoch was 2. The supply of Bitcoin was 15 million. The subsidy was 25 Bitcoin per block. And the price of Bitcoin was $500. And so that one Satoshi, or $1, could have got you 173,605 sats. So that's more than 100x. That's more than 100x in 10 years. That's bananas. So think about it this way too. Now time travel, we time traveled backwards in time. Now you want to time travel forwards in time. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think that there's going to be less adoption, less demand over these next 10 years? No. And I was watching that clip of It was a good chat, actually. It was kind of frustrating, but good, with Jeff from True North and CoffeeZilla last night. And CoffeeZilla's whole thing, like they were kind of going back and forth. Jeff absolutely destroyed him. Like he made him look like a toddler. It was actually kind of embarrassing. And I could tell in CoffeeZilla's face and like the way that he was reacting to things and how loud he was getting, that he knew he was getting destroyed. But his whole kind of thing was based on, it was funny because he said to Jeff, he's like, well, what do you want me to do? Like make a spreadsheet and show you why this won't work? And Jeff was like, yeah. Yeah, like that's what I do. That's what my whole argument is based on, is numbers, on math. And the guy's like, well, here's some numbers for you. 13% compound annual growth rate for the next 50 years. You really think Bitcoin's going to be $36 million? And I was like, is this guy serious? And I think Jeff kind of thought that too. But like, if Bitcoin's only $36 million in 50 years, I don't even think it's possible, for one, because it's either going to be zero or it's going to be probably over $1 billion at that point. So I was kind of thinking like in 50 years from now, that'd be 2076. If Bitcoin's only $36 million in fiat US dollars that literally cost zero to produce, Bitcoin's failed. I would puke. I would actually puke if that were the case. And the guy's like, that's such a crazy number that his mind can't even comprehend it. But then when you look at stuff like this, so we traveled back in time and we saw that it went 100x in the last 10 years. And again, this is in fiat money, but it's still relevant. And it's going to be relevant to what we're going to be talking about next year. But 10 years ago, we went from $1 bought you 173 sats to today, where that same $1 only gets you 1,250 sats. So that's 100x in 10 years. And you consider like who owns this asset right now, who can own this asset right now. It's like a very, 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 very small percentage of the population. And even if they hold Bitcoin, that doesn't mean that they understand it. That doesn't mean they're going to hold on to it. So we're so far away from like, he was talking about Bitcoin flatlining at some point. And I'm like, you don't know what is going on here. You don't understand how this was built and designed. You have a world of infinite things, whether that's dollars or houses or laptops or vehicles or productivity. You have a world of unlimited things. And if Bitcoin wins, again, it's not going to be 36 million. It's either going to be zero or a number that we can't even comprehend in 50 years from now. But you take all those things and you divide it by 2.1 quadrillion sats, and you can see quite easily how this is going to play out. All of those things continuously, as that number goes up, while the bottom number, the denominator, does not change, does not increase, the value of those units at the bottom are going to increase exponentially. Like it's math. It's very basic math. And if you look at the total number of houses, I love this analogy, and people hear this and they don't really understand what I'm saying here, but this is math. You take 2 billion houses on this planet right now, you divide it by 2.1 quadrillion Satoshis, that works out to be about 1 million sats per house, average price of a house in Bitcoin. If you're looking at this through a Bitcoin lens, which I believe we're going to be, if Bitcoin succeeds, it's going to be the new unit of measurement. And so that basically means that the average price of a house, if only houses existed, would be 1 million Satoshis, which you can buy for $800 today. That's the disconnect here. The disconnect is people are uneducated about what this asset is, and therefore they haven't allocated their capital to it. Insurance companies have not allocated to Bitcoin yet. All this $900 worth of capital, which is still kind of a fake number, but all of that, just imagine infinite things divided by 2.1 quadrillion Satoshis. And so 36 million in 50 years would be a joke. I don't think it's possible, because either Bitcoin wins or it doesn't. If it doesn't, it's going to be worth nothing. But if it does win, which it didn't really sound like he doubted that. He just hasn't really thought this through. But if Bitcoin wins, then the whole world's going to be measured by Satoshis. Average price of a house will be much less than 1 million Satoshis. And so therefore the value, the purchasing power of those Satoshis is going to be much bigger than we can comprehend. But that doesn't mean that it's not math. Like, this is not my opinion here. This is not a subjective opinion of mine. This is objective mathematics. All you have to do is plug it in. So I got a kick out of that last night. But did anybody here have a chance to watch that one? It was pretty good. It was pretty good, and I just realized that we had. I was minimized there the whole time, but whatever. You got the voice. You got the voice, and shout out to all my haters out there who said I drink too loud into the microphone. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Now we're blurry. All right, well, that was fun. So that was an ode to Sats and Sunsets today for his big buy 7 years ago. That was an ode. Okay. So I got to write Chuck down here, because even though I haven't seen the 88 Sats wallet, we're going to write down Chuck. We're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Chuck's got proof of work here. And when you got proof of work, you have a little more trust than people who don't have proof of work. Jenny, what's going on here? Jenny sent, what the heck? Oh, Mark, sorry, buddy. I missed this one. I missed one from David T. I don't even know if these guys are still here even, but David T. with a portion of a shot of espresso today. So thank you, David T. What would I call that one? An April 20 zap. A fat one, though. A big one. A pinky one. King Kong's pinky. That's what I'm going to call that one, David T. I gotta start writing these down. King Kong's pinky. And some people will get that reference. Some might not. But that's okay. So thank you, David T. Mateo is over there. Thank you, Mateo. Chuck also says, happy Friday. Life is good. Amen. Amen to that. Life is good. Mateo says, great morning. Love that. Love the freaking energy here. Love the energy here in this crew. Mark with a big one. Look at this. He says, happy Friday. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Stewie. We're going to call that one a triple shot. Triple shot. We're just going to call it the Mark Zap, I think, though. But we'll call it a triple. Thank you, Mark. The Mark Friday Zap. And something's going on with Jenny here. Something's going on with Jenny. She said she sent a couple Jenny Zaps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And a reverse one, a reverse Jenny. And she said, haha, here's a weird number. Take that, AI. Thank you, Jenny. So she split up her big Jenny Zap today into multiple ones. So there's some proof of work there. It takes time. Zapping ain't easy. Zapping ain't easy. So thank you, Jenny. And Matt FRL today with a Friday Matt FRL Zap, a Tesla Zap, a fat Tesla today. Thank you, Matt. Cheers, buddy. Appreciate that, man. Matt FRL. Thank you, Matt. And I see Scotty's here. I see a little sneaky 99er in here. What does Scotty have to say today? Let's check on Scotty. How you doing, Scotty? How we doing? We got another. Scotty says, hello. Is this the right place to recover from a round of golf? Yeah. I'm tired. You can probably tell in my voice. I didn't have a lot of sleep last night. I feel good, though. I feel good. I look good. I sound good, and it's a beautiful day. But yeah, so it's funny because I'll tell a real quick story here about golf. Not what happened, but just my golf experience last night. And then I want to tie it in something else too that happened on the golf course. But I live in Canada here. I live in Manitoba, probably the coldest part of Canada. Arguably, I'd say Manitoba or Saskatchewan. Alberta gets pretty chilly too, but right in the heart of the prairies here, it gets frickin' cold. So those three, the prairies, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, it's pretty frickin' cold. So anyways, I hadn't swung a golf club since probably September. So October, November, December, January, February, March, April, 7 months. 7 months I hadn't swung a golf club. So I got to the course right on time yesterday because I literally couldn't get there any sooner. There was just some things going on. I could not get there 1 second sooner. Showed up at tee time. I took one practice swing. So one swing in 7 months. Took one practice swing. I was stiff as a board. Hit it a little bit left into the trees. Found my ball. Had to hit it backwards because I was right in front of a tree and right on top of a rock. So I had to hit it backwards. It goes onto like the bank of the river. So I'm on a slant. I put it on the green, off the slope onto the green, and one putt for a par. So that's how my season started yesterday. It was a wild start. But good to see you, Scotty boy. Okay, let's check on things, and I'll tell my other golf story here. It kind of relates to what I was just talking about with Bitcoin stuff. So 16x was the number. It was. V for Veritas. That's the strength in numbers, right? Veritas, victory, truth. Hey, look at this. Sean says, hi, bro. Kick, what's up? Sean. Good morning. I don't know if you're still here or not, but thanks for coming by. We got some good stuff we talk about here. VHF saying things I can't say. Little Crazy by Morgan Wallen be resonating lately. Yeah, I like that song too. How does it go? I'm a little crazy, but the world's insane. Yeah, it's kind of similar to Kip's song. BTC Backpackers here. Good morning, BTC Backpacker. I saw on, let's check this out actually right now. Let's check this out. Let's see what BTC Backpacker and I think it was Flipper. I think Flipper, they were having some fun last night. Let's check it out. They were building something. What were they building though? Let's see if I can share this. Let's see what the Packer family was up to last night. They built something. They built, shout out Soap Miner. Shout out Soap Miner. Look at that. Whew. Tallow soap. BTC only. Okay, so where are we here? Right here. BTC Flipper. She said she made a post on Noster. She said, I built a radio with my dad. Jor, its name is 88 Sats Radio. Look at that. Oh my God, you're kidding me. You have to be. You have to be kidding me. Look at that. Look at that nice radio. BTC Backpacker, you should have had it set to 88.8 FM. 88.8 or AM, I guess it would be. 88.8 Freedom FM. No, FM. Look at that, though. That's pretty freaking cool. That is pretty freaking cool. So that is Flipper and her new radio named 88 Sats Radio. How cool is that? How cool is that? Love that. That made my morning. So shout out to BTC Flipper. I sent her a couple sats for it too. Because you have to. You have to. So there you go, Flip. There you go, Flip. Okay. Yeah, it was a good one. It was a good one. Jeff absolutely destroyed him. He made him look like a fool. Made him look like a fool. So, or he's controlled. I don't know. I actually don't know. Because it was funny. It's really funny to me. A couple things I want to say on that too. I'm sure we'll talk about it today on the Maple Show. I want to propose that Rajat and Forrest talk about it because it's worth talking about. It's an important interview right now because I just feel like CoffeeZilla kind of represents the average person, like how they think. You know what I mean? I don't think he's controlled. I just think that he's really wrapped up in his world. You know what I mean? That's like a lot of people. Shift's the same. They kind of benefit from being very polarizing and very like eccentric, you might say. But man, you could tell how little knowledge he actually had about it. And that's what really bothers me about the current day, the modern day, is that everybody has a microphone now. But the problem is like most people don't actually put any actual work into learning. It's not just on the microphone either. It's in the comment section. It's probably worse in the comment section where people have all these opinions and you can tell very quickly that they've actually spent 0 hours learning. I mean, we got a term for those people, right? We call them 0-hour dipshits. 0-hour dipshits. That's what they are. I wouldn't say CoffeeZilla is a 0-hour dipshit, but he's not too far from it. He's like a 2-hour dipshit. Might even be worse than 0-hour dipshits, actually, because he thinks that he knows a lot. But so do 0-hour dipshits, I guess. But no, I don't think he's controlled because I watched Jeff's that he posted on Twitter last night. I watched his version of it, like the raw footage of it. And I don't know, just something's off with that dude. Like, I don't know. It's funny because when I started in Bitcoin, like when I started kind of going down the Bitcoin rabbit hole, I didn't find Bitcoin first. I got into precious metals. Once I realized that this was the biggest scam perpetrated on humanity before, once I figured that out, I went to silver. That was my first step. My second step was crypto. And so with that, I was watching all these different crypto videos. I was like, oh, this crypto has this feature. This crypto has this person talking about it. It's going to go to the moon. This crypto does things that this one can't do, and it's cheaper, and the supply is less. So like I'm doing all this math and trying to, figure out the crypto world. But the thing that really pulled me to Bitcoin, like a magnet, the thing that really pulled me to Bitcoin was the people. And I know it's kind of difficult when you're watching somebody, especially when it's edited. It's very difficult to tell their intentions. But the thing that I noticed about Bitcoiners is that they were like very unfiltered. There was no fancy graphics. There wasn't much editing. I got a really good vibe from Bitcoiners because it's easy to talk about the truth. That's the thing. It's like so easy to talk about the truth. And you don't have to put on a mask. You just speak. And so that's what really drew me to Bitcoiners is the difference is that I could tell like the crypto people were almost like trying to scam people, but I was wrapped up in that. So I didn't notice it. But then once I got a taste of Bitcoin, once I started watching Bitcoiners, that's when I really noticed a big difference. And that's kind of the vibe that I got from Jeff last night. Even though he's not a Bitcoiner, he is a much more of a Bitcoiner than most. But compared to CoffeeZilla, like even the way they started the conversation, like kind of behind the scenes almost, I appreciated the fact that Jeff shared all that because it gave me a lot more context into really what's happening here. So at the start of it, CoffeeZilla's like, okay, we're going to get going. And Jeff's like, well, what are we doing? Like, what's the structure here? What are we talking about? What's this going to be? And he didn't really tell him. And then at the end of it, they had to wait for the stream to end because they were on Riverside. I don't know why CoffeeZilla is using Riverside. Riverside sucks ass. But he had to wait. So Jeff had to wait there while it loaded, I guess, or it saved. But just the conversation there that they were having, I could tell what kind of people they were. Sounds crazy, maybe, but you can. When things are kind of behind the scenes and the camera's off, that's where you see people's real side of things. When there's no edits, when there's nobody there, that's where you see people. And again, I don't think Jeff's like a Bitcoiner, if that makes sense. He's still kind of like in the legacy system, quite entrenched in that, but he's much, much, much more of a Bitcoiner than most people. So you could just kind of tell the way he was speaking to him versus how CoffeeZilla was speaking to Jeff. It's just different. Hard to explain, but it's different. So that's what I got from it. I don't think he's controlled. I just think he's just different, man. He's just different. I mean, you could be right about this. You could be right. I don't know. Jeff's insurance background is really interesting when infused with the Bitcoin sphere. Yeah, and that's the thing is like it hasn't even touched the insurance industry yet. Wait till they show up. That's an industry that's ripe for change. Holy man. That's an industry that's ripe for change. Wow, Bitcoin baby. Where did this come from? Bitcoin is up 40% past 5 years, Jor. Okay. Thanks for coming out, Bitcoin baby. You fucking dipshit. What terrible performance. Terrible. 40% up versus 40% down if you're holding fiat, which is a net 80% gain. Anton S. Hello, driving and listening. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear there. I'm doing my best not to swear, but some people just grind my gears. Be it Hollywood, politicians, scientists, media, they're all whores who sold their soul for money, given by elites to run their agenda that keeps average Joes and Janes poor and enslaved. Absolute truth. Absolute truth. What did Jenny do here? Gave a membership to BTC Backpacker. Look at that, Jenny. Okay, so I got to write down. We had Sats and Sunsets with a $2. We had Jenny times 2. Jenny times 2, $2. And nope. 3. Jenny had 3. Jenny said 2019 feels like a lifetime ago. Anything pre-COVID does. I know. So Jenny actually had 3 times $2. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Sats and Sunset. Oh, she got 4. Jenny said, VHF, I never thought I'd agree with you this much. Yeah, VHF spitting some truth today. We just had to unleash him onto Rumble. We had to unleash VHF onto Rumble. That was the only thing missing. And BTC Backpacker got a memby from Jenny. And Sats and Sunsets also gifted one, but nobody has claimed it yet, I don't think. So if you're watching this on Rumble right now, if you want a membership, you just got to say hello. Pretty easy. Because Sats and Sunsets gifted you a memby. He tried to get Backpacker, but Jenny got it first. So thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Sats and Sunsets. God bless. God bless. Yeah, you beat me. Oh, man. Veritas is Latin for true. Yeah, there you go, VHF. I told you, man. I told you, man. You got to get over here. There's no limits. There's no censoring. Flipper says thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. That's a nice looking radio. Is you guys are driving? Where are you off to today? Kev says they're stuck in the fiat mindset. Also, I guess with the recent events of FTX and Terra Luna, people like him will lump Bitcoin and crypto. Yeah, crypto is like the biggest problem for Bitcoin. It really is. Crypto's really destroyed. I wouldn't say destroyed, but it's kept a lot of people out of Bitcoin. And it's really sad. It's really sad. Okay, I missed a couple things over here on Noster. Oh, sorry, that was Camille. That was Camille who zapped that. I thought it was Jenny. Because it has the 1, 2, the 3, and the 4. But it was actually Camille. So thank you, Camille. He said, here's a weird number. Take that, AI. And Joshua said, I'm sticking to Zapstream, riding her down Titanic style. I think it's working, isn't it? I think it's working. BTC Backpackers over in Noster too. Camille said, I want that hat. So Jake, can you make that happen? Can you make that happen for our guy Camille? I'm sure you can. How many dip would a dipshit shit if a dipshit could shit dip? Almost got me. I did pretty good there. I did pretty good. VHF said, truth is an apex predator, a king. Agreed. Jeff Lewis? No, Jeff Punter, I believe his name is. Jeff from True North. True North, the boys from True North. My favorite guy from True North. Actually, two of them. I really like Mason, and I really like Soleil. Those are my two guys. They're the reason I like them. Obviously, they're very intelligent fellas, but they get Bitcoin, I think, on a different level than all the other guys in True North. Mason's a great dude. Freaking smart guy, man. But he gets it. He understands it. He understands what's happening here. He understands more than freaking 99.99999. And Sully's pretty good shit too. Both those guys are true Bitcoiners, I would say. But the other guys too, the other guys are moving the right direction. I think just having Mason and Soleil there to talk with, all those other guys on True North, I think, from my eyes anyways, have gone substantially more knowledgeable with Bitcoin. They were experts in traditional finance, but now they're becoming more knowledgeable around Bitcoin. But you have to understand Bitcoin, because if you don't understand Bitcoin, then nothing else really makes sense that's built on top of Bitcoin. You thought YouTube Hoofty was controversial. Unleashed Rumble Hoofty going to be lit AF. That's what I'm saying. We unleashed VHF onto the Rumbles. Good to see. Doctor's appointments. Nice. Mofo says, crypto is made by banks and rich bastards that want your Bitcoin for free. For real. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. And the funny thing is like, I think it was Jerry talking about this last night. I didn't watch Jerry's show because I was golfing, but he sent me something after the show and said, you got to watch this part. So I did. And he was talking about two or three guys at his house. One was a Bitcoiner, but he wasn't really a Bitcoiner. And they were talking about Bitcoin and crypto. And he's like, basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to make money on crypto so I can buy more Bitcoin. But he didn't really understand why. And that was the really interesting thing to me, is that he was using crypto, trading in and out of cryptos to try to get more Bitcoin. But he didn't really understand why. He didn't understand Bitcoin. That's what Jerry said. This is just kind of secondhand information from the video, but he didn't understand Bitcoin. So there's this natural, I think that's how I would explain it. There's this natural pull towards Bitcoin. Even if you don't really know why, even if you don't know the underlying aspects of Bitcoin, there's still this natural gravity towards Bitcoin. And it's kind of one of those things where it's taken time, but there's no doubt that that's happening right now. And that was the thing about CoffeeZilla. He's like, there's no way that Bitcoin's going to be worth 36 million in 50 years from now. I'm like, have you talked to anybody? Somebody here the other day, Bridge told them that I'm a Bitcoin guy. Like, I don't know what she said, Bitcoin consultant or something like that. And the girls that she was talking to, they're like, you mean Bitcoin, like kind of sports betting? So, I mean, like, if you understand how things work, you would just take that as like it's just one small sample size here. But like 17 years into it, Bitcoin is almost a $2 trillion market cap. It's everywhere. It's global.. And you still have people out there, like average people, I call people capital allocators because that's what they are. We got pension funds, we got insurance companies, we got governments, we got all these other things, capital allocators. They take in money and they decide what to allocate that to. But every person here is a capital allocator because they hopefully have some money that they want to allocate to something. But they thought that Bitcoin was sports betting. That's where we are right now. That's where we are. So if you don't believe that, yeah, I don't know. God, this is a good song. God, this is a good song. If you want some more Kip today, Faith in the Wind. Wow, he's got 665,000 views on this video 3 weeks ago. Kip, what a beauty. What a beauty. But yes, mofo. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Buy the dip, shit. Buy the dip, shit. Okay, we got to fuel up here. I should have taken one of these before the show. Get some salt in me. What do I got today? Raspberry. Is it raspberry or raspberry? Do you say raspberry or raspberry? I think I'm a raspberry. I think I'm a raspberry guy. What are you? Are you a rasper or a razzer? I don't think I've ever heard somebody say raspberry. So it's like February. Nobody says February. People say February. Anyways, it's Friday. Who cares? Who cares? I don't. Need a Jeff Lewis meal for lunch. Who the hell is Jeff Lewis? You keep saying this name. You keep saying Jeff Lewis. Yeah, I'm a raspberry too. I'm a raspberry. I don't know why it's raspberry. That's lame. Shout out to the raspberries out there. If anybody says raspberry, I would run. I would run. Or if somebody says February, I'm out. I'm out. Oh, look at this. Camille. What? Camille says, I love no, I'm not even reading this. Get that shit out of here. I love the fiat world. I invest in passive income investment ETFs. Make 20%, use my fiat to buy Bitcoin. Pays the bills and gets me more Bitcoin. Camille, I understand what you're saying. But what I'm gonna predict here, and you can clip this if you want to. I doubt you will, but you can clip this if you want to. And I know, like it for me, it's different than your situation. Every single person's in a different situation. So like what's right for me is not right for you. I understand that. That's not what I'm arguing here. My point is that you haven't been through a Bitcoin full cycle yet. You haven't seen what it's like when Bitcoin's running up and 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 up. And you have money on the side. You have money elsewhere. Yeah, I don't think you've been through that yet. But once you go through that a couple times, you're like, okay, well, maybe it doesn't really make sense. Regardless of what I'm getting paid here, my money overall is going to be better in Bitcoin because I don't want to have any money on the sidelines for when those days happen. There's not very many days like that. Clearly, you've been in Bitcoin for a while. Like you've been here almost every day for the last year. So there's not many days where that happens. But when it does, and it will, it's an opportunity cost. So you look at things like Stretch or this, a 20%, those are like kind of a joke compared to 100x move in 10 years. So, I mean, it kind of seems good at certain times, day to day, it makes sense. But like, once you go through that a couple times, you try to figure out ways to not go through that again. That's what I'm going to say. So I think in about 40 years from now, I'd be interested to see if you still have this kind of a take. And again, I'm definitely not hating on you. You know that. I'm just razzing you. I'm raspberrying you. But yeah, I know what you're saying. And the other thing too is like you have zero freedom with a passive income investment. Zero freedom. You can't trade that on a Sunday afternoon. You can't send that without a bank. You can't send that without permission. You can't withdraw that if your government doesn't like what you're doing. So there's differences. I would say that there's the opportunity cost. There's an absolutely unlimited upside with Bitcoin, and there's unlimited freedom with Bitcoin. And that 20% is kind of like a job, right? It's like a salary where you're like, okay, well, I don't want to miss it. I don't want to risk things here. So I'm just going to stick with my job because I know it's going to earn me $100,000 per year. I know that. But what is that also? That is also your ceiling. 20% sounds good on paper. 100K salary sounds good on paper. But that's your ceiling. With Bitcoin, there's no ceiling. There's no ceiling. So again, day to day, depending on where we are, this strategy sounds good. But then there's going to be times where you're like, why did I not dump everything that I had into this? It was so obvious to me. It just hadn't happened yet. So we'll see. Save it if you want to. Save it and come back in 4 years and tell me if this is still your mentality. I'm just saying. You know, I'm just messing with you. You can take it. Also, what the hell did you think I was going to say? Do you think I was just going to bring it up on the screen and be like, "Oh, there's Camille's strategy," and not have a rant? Captain says, "Your XRP is going to 100K." I've heard that. I've heard that a lot. Haven't heard anybody say why it is, but I've heard it has. Ginger said, "The truth always wins. It eventually comes out of even the worst liars." 100%. 100 frickin' percent. Oh my God. Oh my God. We're all about the kip today. Here's another song. So you got 3 songs you want to listen to today. You got Burn. You got Guitar Man. This is a tune. 2 million views on this one. And you got Faith in the Wind. Listen to those three songs and tell me you're not a Kip Moore fan. I dare you. It's going to take you 10 minutes probably. 10 minutes. Guitar Man's a little longer. But 15 minutes of your life today. You can do it. Turn off the Simply Bitcoin this afternoon and listen to Kip. What? Funny when you mention Bitcoin and people say the Trump coin. Yeah, no doubt. That's where we are. Praetorian said, "Jor, that fellow we thought was spamming Mr. Adolf suggested that show. I decided to check it out, and it was scary, eye-opening." Wow. Okay, so we were onto something then, because I was saying, like, yeah, we're not going to ban this guy. We're not going to tell this guy to shut up. You don't need to apologize. But good on you, man. Praetorian, do you mind putting what it was again? I didn't write it down yesterday. There was a lot going on. But yeah. Mr. Adolf, good call there. Can you share that in the chat, Praetorian, what it was, if you're still here? Okay, let's what else did I want to talk about today? I think that's kind of it. We got the Maple Bitcoin in 2 hours from now. I had more things to talk about, but we'll save some of it. Maybe I'll just end with a couple things. The last battle for Europa was a long series. I'm on the 5th episode. I want to watch it, Praetorian. Is that what it was called? The last battle for Europa? Duncan's here. LITF Bailey. Look at that nice freaking logo. Love that. Morning, Duncan. Good to see you, man. Really surprised by CoffeeZilla video, and CoffeeZilla has a big, respectable audience. Yeah, and I mean, Just because he doesn't understand Bitcoin, that doesn't mean he's a dummy. But you shouldn't be speaking so confidently about something you don't understand. That's what bothers me. Zuzan, yeah, I figured Zuzan would say raspberry, no doubt about that. She's got Z's everywhere. Bitcoin has more potential, but I also have a wife to please. I know. That's what I said. That's why I started it by saying that everybody's in a unique situation, because I understand that. Send him 2 or 3 year bear market and forget. Yeah. Bidberry. Oh, I like that. I like that. Okay. Praetorian says the last battle for Europa. It's on Rumble. I mean, that's pretty telling, isn't it? It's only on Rumble. That should tell you a few things. The last battle. I might watch that tonight. Friday night. What else am I gonna do? The last battle for Europa. So what was your main? Actually, I'm not going to ask you because I don't want to put you on the spot. But if you want to, just share what was kind of like the main takeaway from it from your perspective. 12 parts. Wow. Okay, well, I got something to watch now, I guess. I got something to watch. I've actually been rewatching the Last Dance with Michael Jordan. That's a good doc too. That's a great doc. MJ was the man. Okay. Micah said, Europe, the last battle, and the greatest story never told. Are those two related? The greatest story never told. Is that what the guys mentioned yesterday? Both of those? It is kind of crazy. It is freaking crazy because that whole thing was like less than 100 years ago. Isn't it amazing how they were able to manipulate minds in less than 100 years into one direction? When you have unlimited money, when you have unlimited capital, it's crazy what you can do with it. So yeah, that was always one of the big questions I had about it. Is like, why? I know I've heard the stories, I've read it in textbooks, I've had it explained to me by purple-haired dipshits in school. Although when I was in school, there was much less purple-haired dipshits than there is today. But point is it just felt like there was just one side of the story being told. You know, it's like, why haven't I ever seen a speech of this guy and like have it translated to English? Why has that never happened before? It's got to exist. There's got to be some footage of this guy somewhere. If he literally got a whole country behind him to buy into what he was selling. But why didn't we see it anywhere? I don't know. It just kind of felt weird to me. But these last couple of years, there's been more and more like very large platforms that have been talking about this stuff and bringing it up. And at the start of it, it was almost like they were scared to get canceled because it was so like outlandish to think crows are fighting again. But now it's like people are starting to wonder. People are starting to ask questions, which is good. Captain says, do you know if Forrest and Rajat offer discounts when cross-joining school groups? Yeah, I don't know. You might have to ask them, Captain. They're good guys. They might. The Rothschilds first episode. Okay, yeah. Okay. So this is the Captain shared it on Rumble. I love that guy just showed up and he's all like, sorry, this is my last comment. And now we're literally spending like 20 minutes talking about this. So this is Europa, the last battle. Is this the one? This is what Captain shared. Is that the right one, Praetorian? Okay. Cap says, from my perspective, and maybe too simplified, the other point of view of World War II. Okay. So that's kind of what I want. Jenny says, yes, but when you write the history books and the internet was not a thing, it's a lot easier to manipulate. Yeah. And I've said that for quite a while now. I said, like, for the Gen Xers out there and for the baby boomers, like, my hat's off to you. Like, honestly, for you to go through your whole life, like 60 years of propaganda, of TV, of radio, and of newspaper. Those were the three kind of outlets. No internet. The information that we have available to us now was not available to, I shouldn't say Gen X, maybe Gen X, but mostly like baby boomers. And for you to like go through that, so much programming, it wasn't just like a casual thing. That's what people really need to understand about this whole thing, is like, it wasn't just a casual, lighthearted, this is what we want you to believe, this is history. It was a very, very intentional, evil propaganda for years. And you were able to break free of that. It's very impressive. So I know baby boomers take a lot of shit, but like the baby boomers who are in Bitcoin and who basically call bullshit on the first 60 years of their life, that takes a lot. I couldn't even imagine. Like, it was hard for me after 30 years to rewrite my brain. And the hard part is like literally forgetting all that, like understanding that it was a lie and like trying to get that out of your brain. Because it wasn't, again, it wasn't just like a light little fun exercise of like trying to tell people what happened. It was just like a very, very nonstop, intentional, all the capital in the world directed to like programming people. And you broke free of that. It's impressive. It's impressive. Praetorian said that's the right one. Okay. So I'm going to share that with YouTube. Will I be able to do this? YouTube? If anybody wants to check this out, this is a good reason to check out Rumble. You get to watch this docu-series. 6 parts. 6 parts. Close Cat. Nice. Never seen Close Cat in here before. So notice that they never had the English translations to his speeches in school. You just see him yelling and the teacher uses that as proof that he was a psychopath. Why do they hide what he was saying? Exactly. Exactly. I got some goosebumps there, some chills, because that's my exact thought. There's multiple channels that have it on Rumble. Nice. Camille says you. What the hell does that mean, you? Okay. Yeah, we're going to leave it there for today. We're going to leave it there for today. So let me bring this up, because as I mentioned yesterday, this is going to be hard for me though today. I might have to do this after again, unfortunately, but I do want to give some shout outs here. So, okay, Jenny, we had a couple here. There it is. Chuck with some bone broth for Arnie boy. We're not going to call it espresso because he can't drink espresso. So Chuck sent some bone broth to Arnie boy. Okay, that's going to be the new one for Arnie. Bone broth. So thank you, Chuck. Somebody sent a row of ducks. A row of ducks to Arnie. No comment. I'm going to guess it was Pauly D maybe? But a row of ducks. And then Jenny said, woof, woof, Arn dog, go boop Lucky's snoot. I want to watch. Okay. I'm going to get some video for you guys today. That's my promise for you. I'm going to get some exclusive footage for Arnie and Lucky. You guys are going to die, man. It's so freaking funny. It's so funny. Just the way that they are to each other. It's actually hilarious. Like Lucky just follows Arnie around like a little puppy dog. It's like reverse. Like usually cats are kind of like, the dogs are the ones that are instigating with the cats. But like Arnie will just walk around the yard and Lucky's just like right beside him. Lucky's never more than like 2 feet away from Arnie, just follows him everywhere. And Arnie's just like, kind of get out of here. But then they start fighting. And it is freaking hilarious because obviously Arnie's a lot quicker than Lucky, but Lucky just kind of sits in a circle, sits in the middle, and Arnie goes around and Lucky will just pounce at him. And he grabs him like at his scruff there, and sometimes he's like hanging off him. It's freaking hilarious. Okay, so that was Jenny. Jenny with a biggie. The Jenny Zap. We're going to call that one the Jenny Zap. The other one's going to be a mini Jenny. This is the Jenny one. Okay. Trying to convince my daughter to open her eyes to this, to at least be open to both sides. Exactly. But like, you shouldn't have to convince your daughter that. That just shows me like it shows me how broken the school system is. When you have to convince your daughter to see both sides of the story instead of just being so triggered by certain things, that's the brainwashing at work. That's the propaganda at work. They put so much effort into like association, right? You think of one word and it's just like your brain goes like this. You can't even think. You can't even imagine there could be another side of the story. That's the power of like intentional propaganda with unlimited money printing. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy to me. Polly said ducks. Okay, I thought so. Ducks for Arnie from Daisy. Thank you, Polly. Thank you, Polly. I got it right. I don't like guessing because then it's sometimes I'm wrong about it, but I like when I get it right. And look at this. Good way to end off the Friday today. Josh with a Memby. And no, what happened here? Well, yeah, what happened? It said Josh did something. I thought it was Josh that got that. Oh, but it got picked up because Sats and Sunsets did it before. So whoever, if you're watching this in Rumble right now and you don't have a membership over there, basically all you got to do is say hello. And Josh is going to give you a subscription, it's called actually over there. So thank you, Joshua. Golden Whale over in Rumble. The King. And Jenny says, check Lucky's wallet. Okay, I have it open here, actually. Jenny's buzzing on Fat Zap Friday today. And a Jenny Zap to Lucky. Jenny, what the F is going on here? What the actual F is going on here? Times 2. And all, okay. So Jenny had a triple today. Holy man. Okay, so I'm gonna have to do this. Letha is still though, even with this, we had Jenny had 1, 2, 3. Jenny and Letha are gonna be tight here. But Letha started the day hot, and it was it set the tone for today. So thank you, Letha. Thank you, Jenny. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to okay, let me catch up on some of these comments here. I see Zuzan. What is worse than having gone through it and now to be aware is to see peers still programmed. Oh man, no doubt. No frickin' doubt. I couldn't even imagine because you know, those are, yeah, your peers, your friends, your family members who are the same age, and you want to be able to have like conversations with them, but they can't break free of that. So I'm sure some baby boomers out there are like, man, why did I even bother? Like, why did I bother trying to figure this out? Why did I bother trying to unfuck my brain? Why did I bother? It's almost like a curse, but I don't think it is. I really don't think it is. Some people might think that it is, and I'm sure people have felt that before where they're like, why did I even bother? I should have just stayed where I was. I should have stayed plugged in. Then I could have my friends, my family. Nobody's going to think I'm an idiot. It's crazy. It's so crazy. But if you look through history and you look at the ones who actually made a dent in the universe, they're the ones who were called crazy. So it sucks. Certain parts of it suck. But me personally, I wouldn't change a thing. I could never go back to that system of ignorance and bliss. I just couldn't. That version's dead and gone. Dead and gone. Never even had a funeral. Never even had a funeral for him. For old Jor. Chuck says, can you have co-MOBs on FATSAP Friday? Probably. There's no rules. It's all subjective here. It's all subjective. But yes, I know what you're saying, Zuzan. Okay, I got to get out of here. I got to go. Micah said, I'm embarrassed that she is even in the public school system, but it's what she wants. I'm an elementary teacher by trade and have learned so much. She will come around. Yeah, she will. She will. If she's hanging out with you, then she'll come around. It just takes time. There's a lot to undo. So I'm going to show the updated leaderboard here again. One of my screens is out, so I can't really do this very easily today. And so I'm going to catch up after here. I will. So let me do this here. I have to do it this way. But this is the updated leaderboard. Oh, this is the updated leaderboard here. So there was a couple big moves here. Jenny actually had quite a big move up. Sats and Sunsets had a big move up. And there were some others in here too. Moravian was in there. Anyways, so this was updated for show 500 now. So these amounts will look significantly different from yesterday. So what I'm going to do here quickly is, it is Friday. We got to buy a little bit of Bitcoin here. Hopefully I have some money after yesterday's trip to the city. Golf's expensive, man. Holy frick. I got the round, 3 golf balls, and a glove. And it cost me $140. And gas was probably $50. And beers were $35. I spent over $200 playing golf yesterday. And that's every Thursday. I need a cheaper hobby. Oh, and after we went to have a Caesar after. That's no food even. That's no food. Wow. I don't even like thinking about it. Okay, but anyways, today we're going to buy, I got to fly back to Canada here real quick. Hop on the plane. And we've landed in Canada. So we're going to buy $8 worth. I don't know if you can see it or not. I don't know what screen we're on, but it's 7201. 7201 for $8. Even though we're not going to get through the whole tracker today, we're going to buy Bitcoin still. 7201. And the music stopped. Why? What happened here? What happened? There we go. Okay. So that's it. That's what I got for you today, my friends. So a couple things as we round out today. A couple things. So that documentary we were talking about is available on Rumble. It's called The Last Battle for Europa. I think it was Satster who recommended The Tao of Pooh. We had a lot of support today from Letha, from Jenny. Big one from Mark. Big one from Moravian. Big one from Joshua. Chuck had a couple. We had some memberships from Josh, from Jenny, from Sats and Sunsets. Some zaps over in Rumble from Sats and Sunsets and Jenny. And we had Meta Pharrell, we had Bill, we had Maria, we had Praetorian, we had Joshua. Man, what a committee today. And some that I missed. Scotty Boy, some smaller ones in there, but thank you. So I hope everybody has an amazing Friday today. I hope you enjoy the weekend. Hopefully it's as nice there as it is here. Hopefully your battery's a little bit more charged than mine is right now. But I appreciate you. I appreciate you for showing up here and just having honest conversations. The world needs more of it. Even when it's kind of scary to look into, even when it's a little bit uncomfortable. You got to do things that align with your soul. Understand that we are physical beings, but we're also spiritual beings. And you kind of got to cater to both. Obviously, you want to take care of the meat sack, but you got to pay attention to the spiritual side too, whatever that looks like to you. You have to understand that you become your environment. You become your environment, and that means you become what you watch, you become what you listen to, you become what you read, you become what food is in your fridge. So physically and spiritually, you become your environment. So just be aware of that. Be aware of that, and keep moving the right direction. Keep trading those units of illusion for units of freedom. And let's see what plays out here. Let's see what plays out. We're regardless of what shakes out, you know, we're doing things for the right reason, and doing the right thing is never the wrong thing. And so even if everything goes to shit, even if this whole thing fails, you know, at least at the end we can say we did our best, and there's really nothing else that you can ask for. So thanks everybody. Thanks for the support. I hope you all have an amazing weekend. We're not going to raid today again. We got 4 raids already. We're doing all right, and it's only the 8th day. So we'll just get out of here. So happy Friday. We'll see you in a couple hours if you want to join us on the Maple Bitcoin stream. I'm sure it'll be a good one today. But okay, Praetorian, just shoot it to me in the oh, Mika, sorry, I missed this one. I didn't see it. So thank you. Or not Mika. I said Mika again. Frick me. Micah, man. You might have to change your name, Micah. Yeah, that's a tough one, Josh. But again, you become your environment. That's her environment. So anyways, thanks everybody. Appreciate the support more than you will ever know. And I love you all. We'll see you soon.